Okay, I'm doing music, but there's a bigger plan for me. I wasn't given this power for no reason. It's a pursuit and it's a responsibility. I'm on a pursuit of awesomeness. Excellence is the bare minimum.
Show up every day. Every day you're maximizing every hour of your day. You know, it's very important to prioritize. A lot of people are busy, but they're not productive. To reassess yourself, to be like, okay, everything I'm doing every day, what's the important things that's getting me closer to where I need to be?
Right.
Mm-hmm. You know, and then eliminating the things that's not, you know, and then once you do that, then I think that's when you become productive instead of just being busy, you know, but you have to prioritize that time.
Watch It Go. The album was released. It's #1 in 23 countries. Hip-hop album, and it's spread throughout the world this way. Just tell me what that means about the culture and the music that you guys make.
The impact of hip-hop has always been a global thing, almost like in the way jazz was. Jazz, Quincy Jones and them, they were touring overseas before they was even allowed to play clubs in the South. So it's not surprising that an album that didn't have this big, massive crossover pop single touched culture that way.
But it was a matter of just planting a lot of seeds and taking a lot of actions. And I think that's the difference between someone that just has a dream and the person that actually accomplishes the dream. That it's the in-between of taking the action.
So Dallas, you got rid of a real one, Luca, but you ain't get rid of the Symbolic One. This is Backtrack with Don Cannon, live from Dallas. You know how we get down. Shop tomorrow, make sure you get all the gear, and like and subscribe this right here. Backtrack, Don Cannon, Symbolic One, S1, Murder to Excellence. You know what it is, all hardware. Man, you already know it's a family affair. It's another Goat Farm edition of Backtrack. My man S1 is in the building. Let me tell you something about this history, man. We met in 2007
Yes, sir.
at Shy Money's One Stop Shop.
Yep.
Bro, we've been cool ever since. I've known his family, his son. I've met his son. He was making beats early.
Yep.
He said 9 years old. I don't remember that, but 9 is crazy. You sound like me. Met wifey, you know what I'm saying? It's always been, you know, when I came to Dallas, you always came check me out, even at my DJ gigs. It's always been love. And we back here. I've been wanting to do this. It's a special joint when I call it a family affair. Man, we fucking 18 years in. You know what I'm saying?
Let's get it, bro. Let's get it.
S1 is in the building.
Cannon.
Yes, sir. Now this is a legend, I'm gonna tell you. He let me into his home. We're in Texas. The first room he wanted us to shoot in, I was scared of. I can't lie. There's so much shit up there, bro. I don't know if it was the hardware, if it was the Beyonce plaque. I don't know if it was the Lecrae, you know what I'm saying? The Logic. I'm seeing Watch the Throne. I mean, bro, I'm too scared of that room. So
blessing, man.
I came where I'm normal at. It's a normal situation in here. You know, the little keyboards.
You a legend, bro. You a legend, bro.
Oh man. Like, we in a room together. This is the Legends laboratory.
Yes, sir.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Tell the people where you from. I mean, obviously I know, so I don't want to give up too much information.
Yeah. So, born and raised Waco, Texas, man. You know, I know most people probably know Waco from either Baylor University or David Koresh and the Branch Davidians.
That was big.
That was big, yeah. And that wasn't even in Waco. That was on the outskirts, but
Facts.
that was the closest city to attach it to.
Yeah.
Or now it's probably Chip and Joanna Gaines, the Silos.
Yeah.
You know, they pretty much then took over Waco. So,
Wow.
but yeah, born and raised Waco, Texas, man, small city. But Waco for me was all about family and foundation. You know, I was raised in a 2-parent household. My parents were the best parents in the world.
Wow.
And they
I'm glad I'm hearing that.
Yeah, they were, man. I have so much admiration for my parents, man. And they did a great job raising me and my older sister. And, you know, we were disciplined and corrected when we were wrong. But at the same time, in the midst of that, it was so much love and support.
Man, I'd love to hear that. We don't talk about our parents enough. And, you know, shout out to my parents. They're pretty good as well.
Yes, sir.
Growing up, your parents, besides being great parents, they instilled the music in you at some point, right?
Yeah, I would definitely say they instilled music in me. And it was so indirectly. It was more so them just being a fan of music and playing the Earth, Wind and Fire, the Marvin Gaye.
That's what I mean by
you know,
still.
all that around the house,
Yeah.
and just making me a lover of music as well.
Yep.
You know, so that would be the first introduction of music for me.
Yeah, that's dope. Did you start, you know, most people say they start in the church. Some start, you know, listening to their father in the basement playing joints or DJing. Was there somewhere where, you know, you were in that space of like, oh man, I'm going to go to church, I'm going to learn keys, I'm going to learn drums. Did you play instruments when you were young? How did you get involved in music early on?
Yeah, so church for me was the first place that I started to see the impact of how music can impact people. You know, manipulate, control in a good way.
Yep.
But you know, certain musicians playing certain chords can make someone cry.
Yep.
Or certain rhythms can make someone dance.
Yep.
And I think church was my first introduction into just the power of music and what it can do.
Yeah, me too. I saw the Holy Ghost a couple times.
Oh, yeah.
People
You
running
gonna
down
see
the
that.
aisle, it's like, dun, 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 dun,
You gonna see it, yeah.
You know what I mean?
But it was all feeling, man, and that's what really attracted me to music. Being in the church and being just mesmerized by the musicians every Sunday. You know, them getting up there and playing and just making people feel a certain way.
Yeah. Did you play instruments?
So I took piano lessons for 3 years.
Okay.
I didn't stick with it because I became impatient and bored, and I wanted to just be able to play without practicing, but that didn't work out. So I took it a few years, and I also played alto sax at school from 6th grade to my senior year.
Wow.
So I got music theory.
Got you.
I didn't become the best musician, but I know I learned what I was supposed to learn through those instruments.
Would
yeah.
you consider yourself having perfect pitch?
I would say to a certain extent I do. Yeah.
Yeah, because most people that quit piano early usually hear in their mind, I know how to play this by ear.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I know my keys. I can tell you what key a song is in.
Yeah.
You know, so yeah, I definitely can identify with
Yeah, 'cause
with keys.
Man, thank God for hip hop, man, because you know some of the keys is wrong. It's supposed to be like that. That's part of hip hop, and I'm tone deaf, so sometimes I don't even hear it. But I be seeing people perfect pitch. They're like, "Yo, that's out of tune, dog." I'm like, "How? It sounds right."
But
You know what I'm
that's
saying?
another thing though. If it sounds right,
Yeah.
I don't care what the technicality. If it sounds right, it's right.
Right. I stopped drums early and piano early because I felt like I was going to get too regimented. You know what I'm saying? You know, you play the keys, you'll start learning scales, and I always wanted to have mistakes, so I quit. I said, man, I'm just going to do
No,
whatever.
I love
You know
that.
what I mean?
I love that.
Yeah. So early age, what was your realm? Where was you first caught the bug of music? And what I mean, like, what was something that you heard? Like, I remember hearing Run DMC Raising Hell. That was the bug for me. I was early, 6, 7 years old. I was like,
Oh wow.
Peter Piper. Oh.
See,
You know what I'm saying?
So it didn't happen till later for me.
Okay.
And I would say my turning point was probably my senior year in high school. I relinked with one of my cousins, my close cousin Kevin, and this dude was like super hip hop enthusiast to where he was buying all the. Because prior to that, I was familiar with whatever was playing on the radio. You know, so back in say 93, 94, you had like Dre, Nothing But a G Thing, I think Onyx Slam and Tupac's I Get Around. So those were the records. So I was more in tune with the commercial, but when I relinked with my cousin, he introduced me to a whole world that I didn't know existed. Black Moon.
Wow.
Redman.
I was about to ask you about that.
I remember borrowing Redman There Is a Dark Side album from him, the cassette.
Yeah.
And just being mesmerized, man, by just how raw it sounded, how weird it was, and just the raw lyricism. And that's when I caught the bug and was like, yo, what is this? I didn't know it existed.
That's crazy. So I would imagine being in Waco, there was a learning curve for hip hop because did y'all have jukebox? Y'all had something y'all watch TV, or was it just your MTV Raps? Or
Yeah, it was just
How
the
did you just
typical.
hear it?
It was
Yeah.
the typical shows.
Okay.
BET, MTV, or mainly MTV Raps
Okay.
before BET was introduced. But yeah, it was mainly that and radio, and then like I say, just cassettes he was buying. I was borrowing his cassettes. And
Yeah, I just can imagine just being in Texas when, you know, the majority of the music was indie. A
Yeah.
lot of people was out the trunk. So
Yeah.
I would see the influence of that when people go to Waco, they go to, They come up here, they may go to Arlington and sell their tapes. They may be in Houston, they might go down to Austin and San Antonio. Y'all had a circuit, which would, you know, we would call the Chitlin circuit when we was doing the mixtapes, that we went and tried to make money in all those places.
All the markets,
you know and they
that's true.
And, you know, and deep down in Texas, they don't really think about the games and the Dr. Dre's. They don't think about the Black Moon. So it's healthy to hear you speak about, you know, the real boom bap of it.
Yeah,
you know
he introduced me to that world, man, and it really just kind of turned my world inside out. Once I figured out, oh, this exists, I want to attach myself and be a part of this in some way that I can, any way that I can.
Is it a specific album?
Man, it wasn't a specific album. It was just a collage of things, yeah.
And then when that was happening, did you say, yo, my first step now is to buy a beat machine and try to figure this thing out?
Well, even before I got to the beat machine, it was more so rapping. So I wasn't even thinking music. I wasn't thinking beat machines or anything at that point. It was being around him.
Yep.
And he was a crazy, just super lyrical MC as well, because when we would be together, it's always, whether we listening to somebody else's song or instrumentals, he's always freestyling. Gotcha. We in my mini truck, my Mazda mini truck, and he freestyling. And I'm like, yo, this is crazy. Like, he spitting these crazy metaphors and things. And I was like, man, I want to be a part of that. So that's when I started going home and just starting to write songs and write raps.
Okay.
And just being around him, I kind of picked up on it. In high school, I had a friend who was a DJ. His name was DJ Rob K. He was a white dude, but he was very engulfed in hip hop culture, and he knew. So we started going to his house over the weekends. And after the first time we went to his house, that's when we started our group Symbolic Elements, and we was over there every weekend.
That's fine.
It was. He had the 2 turntables, and he would always have the 2 mics set up for us.
That's fine.
And he would just go find certain B-sides or instrumentals, and we just rap all day.
For hours.
Rap and write and freestyle all day.
Yeah.
And that's when I caught the bug of like, yo, we got to start this group and see what we can do with it.
Did he have any recording things? Did he record them for y'all, or y'all just?
Yeah, we recorded on cassette.
Practice. Okay.
So those were my first. Those are my initially my first our first demos.
Okay.
As our group Symbolic Elements.
Okay.
So we continued to do that, man, and every week we started to realize how much better we were getting, and it came a point to where I was listening to people's stuff, and I'm like, yo, how are people making their own original music now? And that's when I bit the bug. That's when the bug got, I bit the bug as far as like, how are people making their own compositions and beats and stuff?
Right.
And that led me down the wormhole of trying to figure out what type of equipment these producers were using, who the producers was, and I got more into that side of things.
It just now clicked in my head. You said the Symbolic Elements. That's where Symbolic One came from?
Yes.
So who was Symbolic 2, or there wasn't only one?
No, it was just one. I was Symbolic 1, and then my cousin is Myth.
Okay.
Yeah, and we, bro, like I said, we started doing demo tapes, and we were very influenced by and impacted by like the Source magazine. Yep. Vibe magazine, Rap Sheets. You remember Rap Sheets, Rap Pages?
That shit.
So we was inspired by those magazines, and there came a point, man, where we was like, yo, we got to get in the unsigned hype, because the unsigned hype, Mobb Deep, Notorious B.I.G., even Eminem was in there at one point, David Banner, a whole bunch of people that we admired was in there. We started sending our demos to that, and maybe 6 months later, we ended up in the unsigned hype as Symbolic Elements.
Wow.
And it's the cover. I'll show you in the room, but it's the cover with Ice Cube on it. It's when they was going through the whole East versus West thing.
Part of the
and
history.
Symbolic Elements. They like, yo, this group is from Waco, Texas, and they started saying stuff about us.
So they found y'all?
They found us, bro. and that was the first. That was my first of like, oh, we can like. This can actually happen. Yeah. That was like a little small success for us.
Yep.
On a big scale, it was a small success for us, but it made us realize like, yo, maybe we have something in this.
Wow. That's a big ass story right there. Machines, once you started figuring out, what did you wind up getting? Or was it a keyboard, or what was your first piece?
So my first piece of equipment was an Alesis SR16, and it was this black drum machine, and it had acoustic drums, so it wasn't the right. I was still
circle?
With the circle, yeah.
Yep.
Acoustic drums, all these big reverbs on it, and I was like, yo, why my drums don't sound like a Premier or P-Rock?
I told him, like,
It was crazy. So I had to figure out ways to be creative with it, take all the verb off of it,
Yep.
pitch stuff down, and get it sounding a little better. But I still was like, man, what how does Premier and like Bomb Squad, how are they getting their drums to sound like this? So that was the quest of trying to figure out, the steps of how they were getting their drums sounding like that.
that is amazing, bro. So you started there. Did you have keys, or you was like, I'm a sample? I'm gonna find samples.
So I had that, and what we had to do, there was a studio back in Waco that we used to go to, and they had a Roland XP30 or something.
Okay.
So I would make my sequences in the Alesis, book an hour, take my sequences up there, and use the Roland and make as many beats as I can in an hour. Then we would book another 2 hours once we learn our lyrics, and then we go record them, record the vocals to them.
Okay.
So I was just using that keyboard and using that Alesis until, I did that probably for like 3 years.
Wow, that's crazy. Being an unsigned hype, did the phone start ringing like, yo, we want to sign y'all?
We actually got a few people call us, but nothing ever came from it.
For
like,
real?
yeah.
Nobody wanted to come down to Waco.
Nah.
They was like, fly to New York.
That's what it was.
They like, Waco, David Koresh. Nah, we good. Them guys is crazy.
Yeah, nothing never came from it. But, over time, that group merged. We merged that into a group called Strange Fruit Project.
Yep.
And it was that group, and that was supposed to just be a side project that we was working on. But once we did the Strange Fruit Project, we pressed up 1,000 CDs, did consignment, we started getting booked for shows, and then things started taking off for us. And to the point to where Questlove became a big fan of the group.
Wow.
And then Erykah, but I'm getting a call out of the blue from Erykah Badu one day. She's a big fan of the group and wants to work with us.
Wow.
And everything just kind of took off from there.
Wow. I did see they had a whole bunch of volumes too, right? Like
Yeah.
3-4 volumes of that?
Yeah.
That's crazy. So Erykah Badu, Questlove.
Questlove, Dilla.
Dilla. Whoa.
Yeah, that was a good one for me because Dilla was like the god of, or the super foundation of when I really started to do it. I mean, when I really started to want to do this.
Yeah.
It was Dilla, it was Hi-Tek, it was Primo, and it was Pete Rock. Those were the four that every time I saw their name on something, I was buying it, I was listening, and I was studying. I had the headphones on studying, and trying to mimic what they were doing and how they were getting the sound they were getting. So once I found out Dilla was a fan of the group and he wanted to remix one of our 12 inches, like that was it for me.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nah, that's crazy. I tell this story about how I had training wheels. Primo was the person I was trying to be from 91 to maybe 90, I'm gonna say 2000, after Moment of Truth came out.
Man, that was the album, bro.
My training wheels came off and I became Cannon. Well, I was Donnie Brasco at first and I got rid of that name. That shit. You're a cop? Nah, get that fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying? But it turned into Don Cannon and who I became then. But did you have somebody that you followed that had training wheels and they fell off? Was it one person like, bro, I'm gonna patent my style off of this person and then I'm gonna drop the training wheels once I learn how to be myself?
It was really those people that I named.
All four of those.
It was all four of them. Hi-Tek, Dilla, Pete Rock, Premier.
Yeah.
Those were like the, like I say, just kind of studying and seeing what they were doing. And then, never getting to the point of figuring out what they was doing.
Can't.
Because
their character.
It's who they are.
Yep.
But it also set up, it kind of allowed me to find my own path. It gave me a foundation to find my own path of who I was going to be in this production world.
Dope. One thing I want to ask that I don't ask a lot of people, during this time, were you hustling? Did you have a job? How were you making money?
So I was going to school and I was working All types of jobs, man. I had
You Jamaican?
I promise you,
You had
I
10
had
jobs?
probably 20 jobs. It's funny because I was with, when my mom was living, I would talk to her and my dad and my sister, and they didn't even know how many jobs I had. And this not at the same time,
Right.
but it was like I get a job, work there for 2 months, get tired of it, get another job.
Yep.
And bro, I listed it on paper one day, and it was, I promise you, it was like 18, 19 places that I was just bouncing around,
Wow.
working just to get a little cash. I was still living with my parents in
Buy
Waco,
CDs.
so yeah, buying CDs,
Throw in the pot.
and I had to pay for my insurance, and I had to pay for my gas.
Yeah.
And I was going to school, so once I failed my first semester at school, because my parents was paying for my school at first, but once I failed that first semester, they was like, you on your own, so I had to start saving my money to pay my own classes.
They'll definitely put you in that position, but
Yeah.
I'm telling you. You had kids early, right?
No, it wasn't early. 20, let's see, I think I was, I don't remember, 23 or 24.
That's
I had
early.
mine. Is that early? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like, because
I ain't talking about-
people now having 17,
That's true. That's true.
18.
That's true.
But I guess that will be early.
So I
okay.
mean, not early in age, but early in career, where you're trying to figure yourself out.
Oh, okay, yeah, definitely it was early in
And-
career.
and
'Cause
how that
I was definitely trying to figure it out.
Yeah, how that affects you going out. I know when it was young, I was like, bro, I can't have no baby this early, bro. My career will be over. But you seem to bounce back and went super crazy.
It actually pushed me.
That's what I was trying
It
to hear.
actually pushed me, man, because not only was I responsible for myself, like now I'm responsible for a wife and two kids.
That's right.
So now it's like, now I got to really figure this out, and it really honed my focus in on the things that I needed to be doing.
Yeah.
And really getting rid of all the extra things that played no part in the alignment
discipline.
of whatever my dream was.
The discipline.
The discipline, exactly.
So the Strange Fruit project, it lasted all the way through what, 2002?
We released our first album in 2002, and that lasted up until 2009 maybe.
Okay.
And we're back recording music now, so it's like
Good.
we're still,
Good.
we're still
Good. Active.
we're still
Good.
active, but as far as like when we were like touring and things, it's probably like 2002 to 2008 or 9.
Okay. And then you had some of your first placements in between that time? Like,
I still hadn't had any well, I didn't have any big placements. I was still working with, like Raw Digger and, Ghostface
Yeah.
and Lil Brother was working with them and
Yeah.
Rhyme Fest, but I hadn't had my big placement yet.
got you.
Yeah.
And the big placement was?
Kanye's Power.
You can't say that, bro. You got too many. I thought you was gonna say, which one you talking about, bro? I got a million of them.
Well, that was the one. That was the one that really catapulted my career. That was the one that kind of took everything to the
I
next
wanted to
level.
ask you about that because I'm like, okay, you had Power. Who was the one that said, yo, get S1 on the phone. I like what he does. Maybe he could come up with something for me for my next project. Speaking Kanye. Who reached out and was like, yo, we need something for this project? Or did you run into him? How did that happen?
No, this is a. I've told this story so many times, but it's a good story. So, shout out to my guy Fonte, of Lil Brother.
Fonte.
He linked me with Rhymefest because there was a situation where Rhymefest was working on his album and he had a particular song that he couldn't clear. The producer wasn't letting him use the beat. So Fonte's like, yo, I know somebody that can redo this. I'm gonna link you with S1. I think he can kill this for you. So linked us together, and I did something for Rhymefest sent me the acapella. I did something for it, sent it back. He loved it. He was like, yo, send me some more beats through. So I sent him some beats. And he hit me one day and he was like, yo, bro, I'm at the end of my budget, but there's 4 beats I want, but I can really only pay you for 2. And at that moment, I had to make a decision. It's like, okay.
We all come to the
You know what I'm
crossroads.
saying?
Yeah.
But man, bro, I was just trying to get my name out there and I really liked his energy just
Yep.
after the conversation.
Yep.
I'm like, bro, just pay me for those 2 beats and I'll give you the other 2 beats. He was like, okay, bet. So gave him he took the 4 beats, recorded them for his album. A couple of months later, he calls me and he's like, yo, S, I'm out here in Hawaii with Kanye. Send me some beats over, and if I get the opportunity, I'll try to play them for him. So I sent him some beats. Didn't hear anything that first week. Didn't hear anything the second week. So automatically I'm thinking either A, Kanye didn't like what he played him, or he didn't get to play him for him. Going into probably the third week, I get a text on my phone, and I'm looking at my phone, and it says, it's from Rhymefest, and it says, yo, Kanye is loving your stuff. He just said he's about to change your life. So that's the text I get from Rhymefest.
Get the fuck out of here. Wow.
Yeah, that's the text I get.
What a text.
Crazy. Couple of days later, my wife and I were at Red Lobster eating, and a email notification comes to my phone, and it's from Don C. And he's like, "Yo, S, we just booked you a flight to Hawaii. Get to the airport when you can." So, running home, me and my wife run home. I'm throwing my stuff in the suitcase, get my equipment, get to the airport. And I'm on this flight 6 hours. I'm like, yo, what's going on? Like, what's happening? This is happening fast.
It's happening.
Real fast. Yeah. Get to Hawaii, get to the studio. And when I get to the studio, in the room is Rhymefest, Kanye, and I think the engineer was Andrew Dawson.
Yep.
So Rhymefest, he's like, yo, welcome, S. This Kanye, this S. We dap it up. He's like, yo, Kanye was like, yo, your beats is making me want to rap again. And mind you, he's coming off of 808s and Heartbreaks. He's like, yo, these beats are making me want to rap again. Check this out. I already recorded the one. So he plays it, turns the volume up, and it's the power joint. And it's the first version. It's like the beat is stripped down.
Yep.
The rhymes are different. The chorus was dope because he's like saying something on the chorus, and then he had chopped these Marvel characters saying power. So it was like power, power, power,
wow.
Power.
Yo, I never knew that. That's crazy.
Crazy. So he's playing this super loud, and the whole time he's playing it, man, I'm thinking to myself like, yo, how did I end up in this room and Kanye's rapping over my beat? He played
coming off of 808s.
Coming out, yeah. He played that, finished it. And he's like, "Yo, I want you to hang out. I'm working on this album." He didn't have a title for it yet. "I want you to hang out with me, work on this album." So I wound up staying out there for about a week. Got back home, and already the focus just honed in. I'm like, "Yo, I got his contact. I'm finna send them beats every day." So I was send him 5 beats. The next day, send him 3. He's like, "Hold these 2." Next day, I sent him some more. He's like, "Yo, hold these 3." And then the next day I sent
you had
him
in a stash, or you were just making them?
I was making them and sending them. And then like the third or fourth day, he's like, "Yo, come back out to the Hawaii tomorrow so I can track all these." So I went back to Hawaii, and that's when I found out that Power was gonna be his first single.
Damn. The biggest record in the world at that point.
It was crazy, man. I couldn't tell nobody about it. And it was a moment, man. And even then, because prior to that, I had went through, as a matter of fact, back in 2008, I was thinking 2008 was going to be my breakout year because I had a joint on that was supposed to be on Erykah Badu's New America Part 1.
Yep.
Music Soul Child's On My Radio, I think that was the name of the album.
Yep.
And Chameleonaire's album.
Yep.
So I'd already did the paperwork for the Erykah joint. The terms was already sent to me for the Music Soul Child joint. And I'm like, yo, this is it. This is my year. When I tell you every single one of those fell through, and bro, I was so disappointed.
Why they fall
Every single one of them. She wound up removing the song at the last minute.
Damn.
The Music Soul Child, it just wound up not happening at all.
Right.
And then I don't know what happened to the Chameleonaire joint. Yeah. But bro, I was so disappointed. But little did I know that my name and my art was being played in a room that my feet hadn't even walked in yet.
Facts.
Because Rhymefest already had the joints and he was playing it. But bro, that's just how God works. Like his vision and our vision are two separate things, you know.
And you didn't have management or nothing at the time.
I had management for the group Strange Fruit Project,
right?
But not as a producer.
Yeah, for Rhymefest changing my life, I'd have been like, "You want to manage me, bro?"
Yeah, he really did, man. Shout out to Rhymefest. Yeah. And then later on, because I was wondering, because at that point he was working with a lot of producers, but later on he told me, he was like, "Yo, bro, nobody had ever looked out for me like that, like you did in that situation. So because you blessed me, I felt like it was my responsibility to bless you back.
Intention over everything, bro.
Yes.
Intention over everything.
Intention over everything. Yeah. And another thing is, I think that happened too because like I was just being of service, but without expectation.
That's right.
Like I wasn't looking for nothing back.
That's right.
You know, and I think sometimes that expectation can jolt what that blessing is because of our intention or our expectation of, you know, wanting something back based off of what you give somebody.
That's crazy. I want to go back to Hawaii. When you're first hearing this and you're hearing the power, right? You go back to your hotel that night.
Oh, bro.
Did you call home? Wifey, yo. I don't know what's about to happen, but this shit crazy.
I was talking to my parents and my wife and my sister, and they was just super excited because I'm like this. And me and Ryan Fest, we would go back to the room and just stay up all night. We go to the beach and just be talking. He'd be like, "Yo, your life is about to change, bro." Like
he wasn't lying. Shit, he was not lying.
But it was fun times, man. It was a lot of, you know, good memories. But you know, I always say, man, it took a while to get to that moment. But in hindsight, I realized that it was God taking me through that so I could learn certain things. So when he did bless me, I was able to sustain that for 15, 20, 25 years.
That's right.
You know, because you know, sometimes you can be prematurely blessed and not know how to handle it.
That's true.
You know, so I think that was I understand, you know, the cycle and the timeline of God's timeline.
Yeah, I can attest to that because I feel like when we first started with the mixtapes, we were going so hard, I wasn't ready for it. We had no mentor telling us, no, I'm gonna tell y'all how to do it. And we went through the raid. You know, I had already had production, but I didn't know how to handle success. I was out there crashing cars, buying a new one in Magic City, spending money. I just didn't know, you know what I mean? But you gotta understand, I came from Philly.
Yeah.
We never had nothing. I'm just 25 years old. I'm running around with almost $1 million in money. Like, you know, it's so crazy. I just ain't know what to do. So I can attest to that. It's like, bro, you got it at the right time.
Yeah.
Was able to, you know, and the reason I asked you about that because when I met you with your wife, and she's been always supportive of you. And I always admired that she was like your biggest cheerleader.
Yeah.
She was always like, yeah. Like either way, she's on your hip. You
She
know,
was,
anywhere
man.
we go, she was on your hip.
Yeah.
So I can imagine how you called home and was like, yo,
Like,
you ain't, you don't even understand what's going on right now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I remember those Hawaii days because, you know, I'm real close. One of my best friends is No ID.
Yeah, that's my guy.
Dion. And, you know, what's crazy about it is he was living in Atlanta and he was going through this part where he was trying to figure himself out and rebrand and things like that. And just I was wild. I was running around, I was DJing. I was like, yo, come to the studio. He ain't been in that type of energy so long. So we would just pull up. I'm edging him on. I'm telling him, he gonna laugh when he sees this. I'm edging him on. I'm like, bro, you gotta get your clothes up. Da-da-da. He like, what you talking about, bro? I ain't buying no fucking clothes.
That's like, I just like
next
him
thing you
too.
know, he popping up. He had the fur coat on at the studio. He had the yellow Corvette. He going crazy on me, trying to stunt on me hard. I'm like, damn, you really going crazy, bro. So I'm like, all right. So when he's like, yo, I'm about to, you know, Kanye hit me. I'm about to go out there and be a part of the regime and, you know, learn some things and add some things.
Yeah.
And I remember those calls back and forth to Hawaii and how hard they was working on these records and the process of it, how many people they flew down.
Yeah,
you know,
a bunch of people
anybody
coming
in their
through.
mind. He was like, bro, I remember him telling me one time he seen a Pro Tool session. It was 99 things. It was everybody stemming there trying to figure out what's the best one and all that. So I can imagine how fun the Hawaii days was then, and it was a blessing for you to had a power record. When that came out, it was so many different variations that record went through. When you first heard the final product and you listened to it, how much better of a producer did it make you hearing him dissect it, put different pieces in there from what your original piece of work was?
Oh, it changed everything.
Okay.
And one of it was two things. One was collaboration. I saw how, because prior to that, I wasn't really, like, Ill Mind was one of my main collaborators.
Yep.
Few other people, but, you know, it wasn't like it is now.
Yep.
But once he opened that world and I saw, like, oh, it really is about the song. The best part is going to win. But the best part is going to make the song.
Yep.
You know, and when I started looking at it from that sense, it's like, okay, yeah, I can play this progression, but what if I bring this musician in to replay this on a whole nother level than what I can? And it just made the music better.
Yeah.
It made the music so much better just realizing that. And then, dang, what was the second thing I was gonna say? I say collaboration, and then
was it arrangement that you learned?
No, instrumentation.
Instrumentation, okay.
Musicianship.
Got you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's when I started gathering musicians here and was like, oh, okay, I see what he's doing. You know, so the reason I got the Juno in the Moog was because Kanye would never do a session without him. Him and Mike Dean would literally never. I remember going to certain studios and they didn't have it, and they like cancel a studio until we can get those in the room. So I always was like, yo, when I'm able to afford it, those are gonna be this, because I saw what they was doing with it. Yeah. I saw the layers that they were adding with it, and it just, you know, yeah, I was just a sponge, man, soaking it up.
Man, that's dope. You're an advocate, once were an advocate of drum kits.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And I picked up some. You sent me some. You sent me samples. That world has become flooded now.
Super flooded.
But it's still lucrative. One of the things I learned that you were doing when you were doing them was, again, a non-selfish approach. Your non-selfish approach was, I'm going to put out this drum kit, but it's going to be in between. The folders are going to say power. They're going to say 50 Cent. They're going to say all these things. And you gave out the actual drums that you worked with on these records. In a gatekeeper world, what made you do that, bro? Like, what made you not be selfish? Like, I don't care. Even though we have character and nobody makes the same beat twice. Like, man, how do you form this idea?
Who really transformed my mind on that was Ill Mind.
Okay.
He kind of opened it up. He kind of opened that world up for me. And once he started doing it, and he's the reason why I actually started, he's helped me set my first kit up, my site up. He was giving me tools. Yo, you should do this, you do this, do it like this. So he helped me set that up. And then he also helped me market the first one through his email list, you know? And then he was just telling me like, yo, like sharing is everything. And just because someone have those drums, like you just said, they're gonna make a completely different thing with it. It's not like someone's gonna be me by me giving them the tools that I use.
That's a fact.
You know, so he really was the person that opened that up for me to make me realize like, hey, you know, share. Just be able to share with people.
Was it a lucrative market when you were doing it?
Yeah,
it was crazy.
I man, bro, at my peak, I was making probably 25, 30K a month.
Jesus. How many packs?
I
know you have
I don't even realize how many packs, but I think that peak came too when I figured out how to do Facebook ads. I had some people that were really good at it. It showed it to me.
Yep.
And it just changed my world. Was like, oh, this is crazy. Literally, Shopify has where the ching. Yeah. Bro, I had to like silence it like all through the night because the ad was just running, and I was running like $100 a day ads for probably like 6 months nonstop.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you were bringing.
But I was bringing. Yeah. So I was spending maybe $4,000 a month on advertising, but the return was like 20, 25, 30K. You know, so. Yeah,
damn, that's crazy. That kept you in the ball game. While
absolutely,
the next record was coming.
Absolutely, bro. And that's another thing I had to learn too is, you know, when things are not coming out, like what are you gonna do? Like, when I did Power, I still, you know, the count was still low.
That's right. I mean, it's like that with your first record.
Yeah, you know the count was low, and we still had bills to pay. I never forget, and this is how God worked, man. I remember. It was Christmas. Power had came out, so it was that Christmas. And me and my wife was like, yo, like, wonder, like, when we'll get bread, we had got, you know, I think I got probably 5K for fee on Power. But bread was low, bro. And I remember Kanye sending me an email, and he was like, yo, S, Merry Christmas, bro. I just want to send you something through, and we could just apply it to the next beats I get from you. And I looked up in the email, and it was like, 25K.
Get the fuck out of here.
Bro, just random. I kid you not, me and my wife was crying reading the email that he sent me.
Wow.
Bro, we was crying reading the email because it's like we needed it at that moment. We really needed it.
Damn,
and he didn't know,
Yeah.
but that's just how God works through other
God
people.
knew.
God knew, and he used Kanye to send that through to us.
Wow. That's incredible, bro. Hell
Yeah.
of a story. Moving on to the second record. First of all, how much did your phone start ringing after Power came out? Or did they still not know?
It was crazy,
Yeah,
man.
okay.
It was overwhelming.
Yeah.
To where I almost kind of I started to second guess, like, man, is this, because by default I don't like attention.
Yep.
I'm low key, I'm to
Introvert.
myself,
Yep.
and it was like so much attention. The world's like, man, do I really want to live this? Yeah, but it was a good thing, man. All the publishers came, so I flew out. They flew me out for meetings, publishing companies. And then I was in the process of signing to Ye's Very Good Beats production company.
Okay.
So that, and then just like I say, just different artists and managers wanting me to sit in packs or book sessions. So it got pretty crazy.
Did you do a pub deal?
Yes, Rock Nation.
You did it.
Yeah.
Then, or later on?
It was during the Watch the Throne once I met Jay.
Got you.
And
Okay.
Tata, and
Okay.
and I was about to close a deal with Universal, and they was like, at least let us
Let's match.
At least let us give an offer.
Yeah.
And Tata was like, nah, bro, like, don't do that deal. You Rock Nation now. You Rock.
That's decent. That's a decent
So
one.
they sent the deal through, and the deal was actually less than the Universal, but based on relationship,
Of course.
I went ahead and did
Of
the
course.
Rock
The
Nation
relationship was
deal.
in
Yeah.
the right way. Was it an admin or a co-pub?
It was Copa.
It was a co-pub.
Yeah.
Okay. Second to that, the next record that came out after you got those phone calls was what?
Beyonce's Best Thing I Never Had.
Bro, let's just end the shit right now. Motherfucker went from Power, the best I ever hit, bro.
And that's crazy
He
how
skipped worlds. He went from Kanye to Beyonce, bro.
And I was working, and I met Beyonce through working with Jay and Ye on the Watch the Throne, because she was out there in Australia and London with us when we was there. She was there. So that's how I made the initial contact with her and started building a relationship. And she liked what I was doing out in Watch the Throne. So she was like, yo, can you come out to New York with me at the top of the year to help me with my album? And January the 2nd, she called like, yo, you able to come out this week? And
What?
I wound up going out there for a week. Soon as I got there, I'm thinking I'm finna play her beats. So I started playing her a couple beats, and she stopped me. She's like, well, I already have 75 songs for this album already, so I don't need any beats. At that moment, I was defeated, because I'm like, it's no way I'm gonna make this album if you already got 75 songs. I was already defeated.
Yeah.
But she was like, no, I have these 5 songs that I really love, but I don't care too much for the production on them. So I want to give you these Pro 2 sessions. Go in this room. She put me in the room right next to her, and I had one of my guys, Caleb Sean, incredible musician, and we just attacked the records, bro. And every day I was like, okay, maybe we can get it. So at the end of the week, she had narrowed the 75 down to 25, and she did these listening sessions where she had like maybe 20 people in each session, and she had scorecards to where they would score the 25 songs, which song should be a single, rate them 1 to 5, and at the end of each of those listening sessions, Best Thing I Never Had was number 1, number 2, and number 3. Wow. In those sessions. And then I had another song that was in there too that made the top 25 list as well. So after that, I was like, there's a strong possibility I could be on this album.
Motherfucker went from Power to, bro.
So a few months passed, and I'm bugging Tata at this point. I'm like, yo, did I make the album? He's like, we don't know yet. We don't know the final track listing. One day, I picked my boys up from school, and we're on the way home, and I get a call, and it's Tata. He's like, yo, you sitting down? And I'm like, well, I'm driving right now. He was like, well, you made the album. I was like, yo. And he was like, that ain't the best news yet. He's like, you got the second single. I literally had to pull over my truck.
Bruh.
Tears is running down my eyes, bro. My boys is like, what's wrong?
Yeah, the loaf of bread. He like, oh,
Yeah, bro.
I can't even tell y'all what was going on, bro.
It was one of those moments, like, because I reflected back going into that situation of like, man, I ain't gonna make this album.
Right.
Let me just be here
Right.
and say that I got to work with Beyonce, but and to have a second single, it was just
Intention, bro. Intention is
Intention,
everything,
man.
bro.
God's sovereignty is everything.
That's right, bro. That's right. Jumping into Watch the Throne here. That was the connection with Beyonce.
Yes.
On that album, you have arguably one of the best records on there in mine.
Appreciate
Pure
that. Appreciate
hip hop. You know, there was a lot of good records on that, but that one was like, I felt Philly. I felt New York. I was doom, 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 doom. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh yeah, there we go. You know what I'm saying? All the rest of the joints, they was just like good cultural records. You could hear them in hotel lobbies. You could hear them in parties. You could hear them in cars. You could hear them everywhere. But that one was just, it just felt Africa. It felt like, it felt Philly. It felt everything. Like it embodied so many things. Was that your intention when you were making the record, or what were you trying to go for? Was it like Power? It's similar to Power.
I was just
so
gonna
was
say
it like
that.
Power Part 2?
So if you notice those records like Power, Murder to Excellence, The Game's Blood Diamond,
Yup.
50 Cent's My Life.
Stunt. All this is stunt.
Look,
Yeah,
no.
50 Cent, Beyonce, Kanye, Jay-Z, nigga.
And Lecrae's Welcome to America. Like,
Yeah.
all those joints, it was a certain formula that I was like, yo, these three elements have to be there. It was breakbeat, had to be a breakbeat, and I was always adding the kicks to the breaks just to make it more modern and full. The second thing was a vocal chant. Like, whatever vocal chant, whether it's African chant or Indian chant or whatever, vocal chant. And then the third thing was finding these dope progressions to go around the vocal loop. And that was the formula. So I was just making those type of records.
You killed that formula. I tell you that. That formula was crazy, and we're going to get into that a little bit. But I also want to touch on Lecrae. You mentioned his name. That's the first time we worked on a project together.
Yes.
You did it, and I actually hosted it.
That's crazy.
And I never told
Church
this.
Closed One.
I never told this on camera. And Lecrae, if you're watching this, I regret charging him for that first tape.
Wow.
And the only reason I was charging him because, again, I was on fire, but I didn't have no time to do the tape. And it was something I knew I needed to do. I'm gonna tell you, because I knew that my mom would love that. For a long time, being in the raid and doing certain records, there were certain black clouds that used to follow me a little bit. It was like,
me too.
you know, they used to tell me, you ain't doing God's work. You ain't doing this and that. So it followed me a little bit. Like, it didn't do nothing to my spirit, but I felt like when they brought that to me, I was like, oh, this is dope. This can be something that it's not far from home and I can be involved in. But I had so much stuff in there. I was doing, like, at that time, I was in almost, and I hate saying this, inventing the SoundCloud era a little bit. We would come out of mixtapes that wasn't there. So I was Cool Kids, Asheron, Currency. I was doing Jeezy still.
That was a good era too.
You know, I'm doing all this stuff, and he's coming to me left field, and he didn't have to convince me of the music. When I heard the music, first of all, Knife put me on. Knife Wonder put me on. You know what I mean? He was like, yo, I did some records for this kid. He crazy. You should listen to him. I'm listening. I'm like, damn, this shit is actually dope. I heard 3-4 records. I'm like, dope. But just finding the time to do it. And I was also trying to come out of mixtapes and get back into my production bag, because people were like, yo, do my mixtape. I was like, bro. So at that time, I remember, I was like, I'll do it. And it was like, if we got to pay you, we'll pay you. You know what I'm saying? Crazy, just fuck with you, da-da-da. And I was like, all right, give me $4,000. I should have gave the $4,000 back, because I really didn't need it, but it was just like, it was a payment.
It was just like,
And we made so much history together past that. Like, the conversation changed all the way to like a couple years ago. We won a Grammy together. And this is just intention.
intention.
You know what I'm saying?
Man.
Intention, that's the word. So let's talk about that a little bit in your relationship, because you did a lot of records with him. You know what I mean?
Bro, Lecrae that's my brother, man. That was the first time I worked with him, and that was, I think we ran into each other at South by Southwest back in that time, and we linked, and he was a big fan. I was a fan of his work, and he was like, yo, let's do something. So I wound up just sending him some beats through, and for the mixtape, and he wound up jumping on that, and we just kept in touch. We would always see each other at in LA at different events. Or so as things start to progress for him and myself, we just kind of linked together, man. And what was the one with Welcome to America?
Yeah.
And then I had some other joints on there as well.
Yep.
That's the first album that we really dial in. I went to Atlanta. We did those joints. So it was that. But then after that, Church Closed 4, he wanted me to do the whole thing. So he was like, yo, I want you to executive produce this. And so I wound up producing like everything but probably one song on there. And I was out in Atlanta for a week. I had some of my team come out and we just dove in on that record, bro.
You did the whole thing. The one record was the one I did.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's
So
right.
you did
Yeah,
the whole
that's the
thing,
one.
and I was there in the last one. So
Nah, that's
I'm glad I made the cut. You know
that's
what I mean?
crazy,
Yeah.
man. But Lecrae is just, he's always been just a stand-up guy.
Stand-up dude, bro.
Man,
Stand-up
super
dude.
good dude, man. We always have really great conversations.
Yep.
And we're preparing to do some dope things in the future as well.
Yeah, I was talking to him about basically doing this joint called Black Sheep, and it's basically the standout, like him just being a standout. And I know you watching this. I'm still on your top about it. I sent them the beats, but you know we should do it together.
That would be
and
incredible.
put it out. But I think that'd be dope. It could be
That
Church
would be
Coast Fly.
that would be
the Black
incredible.
Sheep. You know what I'm saying?
All right, Lecrae, what you gonna do? What you gonna
You know
do?
what I mean? So yeah, that was a lot of history and a piece of it. I want to jump into this one thing before we get into the recreation. It's the last piece I ask everybody, and I tell this story. And my guys probably mad at this. They probably know it by heart. But this is the live and die for hip hop. It can be positive, it can be a negative thing, or just one of them triumph stories. Cardiac just told me a story about how him and his homeboys were fighting, and his arm got cut on a glass table that they broke, and it almost felt like he wasn't gonna make music again because he was broke. He couldn't go to the hospital, had no money to pay for it, and he was just going through a whole mind thing. Leslie Brathwaite told us a story about the Low End Theory album, where he went somewhere with his friends and he wanted to go listen to the album. They're like, come on, man, let's party, man, leave the album. He's like, no, I want to listen to this. Y'all go ahead. He stays and listens to the album, and they leave. The next morning, he finds out they all died in a car crash.
Oh,
the same car he was in. I tell the funny story about, again, how, and I'm pretty sure it's a bunch of stories, that my mom used to give me money for groceries to go to the farmer's market to get stuff. I used to steal the groceries and buy records. So these are the things I did for hip hop. Are there some stories where you sacrificed your life, or one story that sacrificed, or something funny as far as, hip hop is concerned, or music is concerned, that you did that was like, damn, I did all that for the love of hip hop? I mean, I got another one. I'll tell you one. Me and my guy Jay, we met this dude at Power 99. He was supposed to work for Rockefeller. And he was like, yo, I want to, get y'all with Jay-Z. I'm like, Jay-Z? He's like, just come to New York. I'm like, all right. We drive to New York, and it's broke down ass like Mercury, right? We drive into New York. We get to New York. We get to the office like, yo, we here to see so-and-so. He hooking us with Jay-Z. The people at the door was like, who? So I'm telling the guy's name again. The guy's like, that guy doesn't work here, bro. He's just a street promo guy. He hangs up posters. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh shit. We drive all the way to New York from Philly, and we like, what? And this dude doesn't know Jay-Z. He just works at Rockefeller as a poster hanger, right? So I'm like, fuck. So we ride around LA. We on our last. I have maybe $10. At that time, I took a part-time job being a tennis instructor. We had all the tennis equipment in the back of the car. And then my guy has no money, supposedly. No bread. And I'm like, yo, damn, how we getting back home? So my girlfriend at the time, I call her. I'm like, yo, we on our way back down there. We might have to meet you because we ain't got no money for gas. She was like, I'm not coming to get y'all. Nobody told y'all dumbasses to go up to New York. I'm good, right?
Man.
So we driving down. I think you met my cousin Lance before, that lives out here in Dallas. He actually opted to come get us because we were driving on the Jersey Turnpike on the way back down, and the tubes in the car exploded. So the oil was leaking out of the car. We get stuck on the side of the road in the rain. Let me tell you this story. If you know anything about the antifreeze in the oil tanks, if you put a little water in there, you get a little bit, drive a little bit, slow down. It was raining so hard, I took off my only t-shirts and I dumped them in puddles of water. and took the soaking t-shirt and squeezed the water into the tank several times so we can get another mile, stop, another mile, stop, another mile till we couldn't go no more. And we ran out of money, and I'm like, bro, I don't know, we stuck, we can't do nothing. This guy pulls out $100 bill, my man Jay pulls out $100 bill. It's like, bro, I was saving this for the summer, bro. This is my only. And I'm like, dog, we stuck. We in a crisis. Why you didn't bring out the $100 then? So we wound up getting some stuff from the gas station would led us to getting so close to Philly, maybe 25 miles out. My cousin Lance said he was gonna come get us. He wound up getting us. We go back. We left the car there, and we did all that for the love of hip hop. You know what I'm saying? So if you have a story,
Dang,
or something that was, it's several stories that I've gotten from people.
Man. Oh, that's tough, bro. That's tough. For the love of hip hop.
Or R&B, because you got a Beyonce record. And several other records.
Bro, I'm going through the catalog, and I'm not coming up with anything.
Well, you can skip it. I told two
Watch when we leave this, I'm gonna be like, oh, and they're gonna start coming like.
Yeah, we get the behind the scenes on that. But the love of hip hop is that question, is that, what we do with music, we sacrifice a lot. Whether it be family, sometimes a lot of people don't get to spend time with their family, or miss their mothers, they miss their fathers. They can't do these things because we sacrifice. Like, I moved in a whole West Coast and stayed there while my parents were, my mom was at home, and it was like, man, if anything ever happens, I gotta get on a plane 5 hours to get to her. It's not Atlanta where I'm like, I might catch a tailwind and get there in an hour and a half to Philly from Atlanta. So there's been times where, we're in those spaces where we sacrifice things, and that's what the question comes about.
Oh, okay. Well, that's been like my whole. I
already told it. You had kids.
Bro,
you know what I'm saying?
That's like, okay, that makes more sense now that you say it like that. But I feel like ever since I started this, I've been sacrificing so much for hip hop, bro, and it not really paying me what I put into it.
Man, shit, that's the gift.
Like, that's the that's
the gift.
But
we ain't gonna get everything.
I always had this conversation with some of my other producer friends, and we be talking about, like, how bad the business is, chasing you down your checks and your fees for the records that's been out for 8, 10, sometime a year or more. And we be like, why do we put ourselves through this? But then it always goes back to, man, we just love it.
That's right.
We love it so much, and we used to do it for free. So I think that's why we tolerate so much in it, because of our love for it.
Yep. I see Rhapsody over there lurking.
Yeah,
she's one of my favorite, man.
Oh,
I always tell her all the
Oh.
time, man. I always check on her every once in a while, send her a few beats here and there, but man, her energy is different, bro.
She's a special person.
Yeah.
She's a special person, man.
Special.
She came down here, bro, and it was just supposed to be for a few days, and she wound up staying here. She stayed in that room that I showed, the guest room.
Oh, that's what's up.
She stayed in the guest room, and she wound up staying a month and a half, bro.
Wow.
She didn't leave. Like, we literally locked in, and we didn't even come in the studio every day. We have movie night every Thursday night. We on the weekends, we go to the arcade, play arcade, or go to my parents' house and have dinner. Or
so that's a real life sister.
Pool. Yeah, it's a real life
sister.
sister. We come in the studio, maybe go a full day, and then we go hang and live and play arcades a little bit. Maybe go shoot some hoop.
Fire.
And it was just like, man, we enjoyed it, and that's how most of the album came about. Us just living and enjoying each other's time and talking about life, talking about music,
that's right,
and having these really great conversations. And bro, some of the best songs came out of that.
For sure. I mean, that's the part of the process, especially for somebody like that. Like, people don't understand couch surfing. Couch surfing is a big part of this game. I've seen people just go to a different city and land for 6 months.
Yeah.
I used to come out here and DJ so much in between here and Houston that I tell the story that they thought I was from here. So I would come to Houston and be like, yo, how long you home? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, man, I live in Atlanta. You know what I'm saying? But it's new to get here, and people just show you love like your hometown hero, but the couch surfing part was very important, especially in the SoundCloud era, because I watched Currency do it. He would just go, he'll come chill with me for a month, go out, Houston, chill for a month, go to Cali.
Yeah.
Dom would do the same thing, Dom Kennedy, Pac Div would do the same thing. And I saw this like pattern of it growing, like even down to the Drakes. He got the Houston, Atlanta, Vegas. He was doing those things. Come out Atlanta for 6 months, go to Houston 6 months.
Crazy.
And that's how you build your following in those different cities, because he actually lives here.
Yeah.
He actually lives here. So I feel like that was very important, and I'm glad she's doing that. She's still carrying that legacy of the couch surf.
She's incredible. Not only just as an MC, man, because she's one of the dopest MCs. Now, I'm not even going to say female MC, one of the dopest MCs
1000%,
out there right now.
1000%.
But even beyond that, man, she's just a superhuman being.
That's right.
And her heart is just, it's gold. Her heart is gold,
1000%.
man. And I literally do anything for her, man. She know if she needs something, she can call me.
That's right.
You know, and she's a workaholic, bro. She was, while we was working on the album here, at the same time she was working on this movie with Sanaa Lathan. And she was writing, it was the rap, I forgot the name of it, On the Come Up.
Okay.
And it was a rap movie. She was writing all the raps for the movie.
That's crazy.
So we would be in here working on the song, and she'd be like, okay, Sanaa just called me. I got to go write this verse for her. So she'd go up to the movie room, and that was her spot. She'd write it, be up there for an hour, come back down, get in the booth, and then Sanaa call on FaceTime like, yo, can you make these changes? She'd go back upstairs, and it was nonstop. And then songs we would have, she would write 3, 4, sometimes 5 different verses because she felt like it wasn't good enough.
That's hard.
And I'm like, man, she's
hard work.
She's a machine.
That's hard work, bro. Shot
Rhapsody
the rap.
is a machine.
Yeah, shot the rap. We're going to get into the breakdown. Well, I hate saying that word, but this is the remake and the breakdown because you got some important stems in that joint. You know what I'm saying?
I just got to remember.
And man, shit, it comes
That's
to you
the hardest thing.
as you start making it. It comes to you. And what they don't know is we one day apart on birthdays. Leo gang in here. I'm the second, you're the third.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying?
Leo gang.
We definitely connected. This is a family affair.
Sir.
And this is Backtrack, Murder to Excellence, Symbolic One. You know what it is. Backtrack, Murder to Excellence. I'm here with the Symbolic One. The boy,
Yes, sir.
Don Cannon. Brothers from another. You know what I mean? Leo brothers from another. Murder to Excellence, Watch the Throne, Jay-Z, Kanye. We are here to see this from memory if you have it.
Man, I'm gonna try to. I'm gonna try to, bro.
And did you start this record in Ableton, or you working on something else before?
So I was on Reason version 6 when I did this. So a lot of those joints back then, like the Beyonce record, the Power joint, it was all Reason.
And there was something about Reason. I always tell people, what was the sound about? It just had a knock, bro.
Yeah, it had a knock. And then also, man, that was my first transition from hardware to software. And I had this friend by the name of Picnic, and his beats was crazy. And I went over to his house one weekend, and he showed me Reason, and I was like, oh, I'm way behind. I gotta get on this now. You know, so yeah, I dug into Reason, man, and I learned it pretty well. And that's what I was using back then.
Yeah, Reasons was the shit. Why did you switch to Ableton?
Because of rants.
Okay, so that's because of me. I put him on Ableton. He put
Crazy.
you on Ableton. He went and campaigned all that.
Man,
Yo,
he
you gotta
like
get on Ableton.
held me gunpoint almost.
I told him, bro. He was like, bro. He been telling everybody about
No, he
Ableton.
really was. They definitely owe him a check.
Yeah,
They definitely owe him a check. But yeah, I remember going out to LA, and he was like, yo, I got to show you Ableton. Sat me down, pulled it, and Vaughn was with me, and he showed us. He took about 3 hours and ran it through it. And I remember me and Vaughn going back to our apartment, and we was like, we got to learn this. That was crazy what he just showed us. So that whole weekend, I just was digging into it and learning like the ins and outs of it. And by that Monday, I was making stuff in it.
right.
You know, so yeah, it's good. And then I also use FL too.
Okay.
So I'll bounce back and forth between FL, Ableton, and then sometime I'll just have machine. I'll if I'm going somewhere, I'll just take my machine with me and cook up on machine.
Is that inspirational purposes, or you got different things from different places? Like Machine might have something different from FL, or FL might have something different from.
Yeah, it's actually both. I get something different from each, but then also like I get bored in certain DAWs.
That's right.
Like for instance, if I'm in Ableton, every day for weeks, it starts to feel like everything is template based. Like I'm doing the same thing over and over. So I always have to switch to another DAW just to give me a fresh perspective on what I'm creating.
That's dope. I see you using this side. I always champion everybody to use the other side.
This right here?
Yeah.
It took me a while to understand it.
Because that's a DJ side. So
okay.
You know
Okay, so it makes
I understand
sense.
that side. But seeing the other side, I'm like, oh, you're actually arranging at the same time you're making.
Yeah,
This is
yeah.
more like the MPC. I'll arrange it later, but I'm doing the ideas right there.
Yeah.
So I can do, in here, I don't know if Rance told you, I can do 10, 12 beats all in one side.
Oh, that's crazy.
So here, in that side right there, I'll put the tempos to each beat. And you could change the tempo. So I have 100 BPMs at the
So
top.
this first line is one beat?
Yep.
The second line?
Yep.
Oh, that's
I'll
crazy.
skip a line in between, so I'll have something. And
Okay.
I'll color code it across. And then that last man, you can name it and put the tempo. And every time you switch them arrows on the end, you could go from 140 to 100 to 75. I'm a maniac with it.
See, that's a whole nother world. That can open up a whole lot of
So
possibilities.
I'll have a scratch board, and it'll just have the 3 or 4 beats, and that's why I'm able to make the 3 beats a day because they're all in one session.
Yeah, I gotta tap into that. I definitely gotta tap into that.
Your process for making records, this one specifically, what did you start first?
I used to always start with the drums back then.
Okay.
Especially for like hip hop stuff.
Okay.
I always felt like once I locked the groove in,
Okay.
then any sample I chop or anything I play is gonna be somewhat usable because the groove is locked in. So so I would always start with the groove on records, and that's what I started with on this.
Okay, so what's the groove? The drum.
So we started with this breakbeat, and I don't know if I told you guys, but this song actually started out as 2 songs. So Swiss Beats did the first half. I did the second half when it transitions.
Okay.
The first half was one song called Black on Black Murder.
Yep.
My song was called Black Excellence. We're in the studio one day, and we're going through the records and we're playing them, and Kanye stops the engineer Noah, and he was like, Noah, these songs kind of sound similar, so merge them together at this particular point. Once this song goes off, merge it directly into the next song. So he did that. They played it in the room, bro, and when that transition happened, like the room went crazy. So he wound up just merging those two songs into one.
Yep.
And just calling it Murder to Excellence.
That's
so
dope.
that's how that came about.
That's dope. Okay, now that's a good story right there. 2 songs in one.
2 songs
Then he
in
said, Black on Black Murder, chink the murder, and then take the excellence.
Take the Black Excellence, yeah. And just put them together.
Genius, Ty. That's crazy.
Yeah, so I started with started with that.
What I don't ask a lot is there a normal bar that you stop at, or do you do 4 bars, or you do 8? I know I do 16 every time, just so I can have enough room to do different variations.
It depends on the loop.
Okay.
So because this is doing the same thing,
straight down the line. Yeah.
So yeah, once I had that break beat, like I was saying, I usually, when I first started using break beats, I was just using them as is.
Yep.
But as I started learning, I would cut the lows out of the break.
Yep.
So I would just do an EQ and cut the end. So just a little bit, because basically I'm just gonna let the kick and the bass that I play sit in this area.
Okay.
So yep, so
never seen nobody do the drums without the metronome.
It just depends. Sometimes it locks me in too much, so it just depends on the particular joint, case by case scenario.
Yeah, that's fine though. Quantize or no quantize? You like quantize or it depends?
Both.
Okay.
So there's always something that I'm not quantizing. There's always something locked in.
Gotcha.
Usually the snare or the kick, or maybe the snare and the kick.
Yep.
But the hats are usually played live. Sometimes I play the kick live just to give a little bit more swing to it. So it just
Gotcha. How about VSTs and plugins on the actual tracks of the drums and samples? Do you use compression, or EQs, and reverbs and stuff, or that depends too?
It depends too, but yeah, sometimes I love saturation, bro. So I'll be putting like in Ableton, I use it saturated.
And what's that do? It gives you a little bit more.
Yeah, it just gives you a little distortion in like the high mids, sometimes the low mids.
Gotcha.
So this is without.
Yeah.
Just kind of made it more present. And man, just the importance of like stacking more modern drums with the breaks kind of gave a new, because without it, you know, or trying to EQ the kick and the break,
Yep.
you know, it's not as clean as when you add that kick and you kind of fulfilling this whole frequency that nothing was there.
Yep.
So you kind of fulfilling that frequency, feeling that
And it
frequency.
feels a little different.
Feels good, yeah. All right, so after that, I think I added this tom. I'm trying to remember. I think I did it on the second kick. That's it. Yeah. Yeah, that's it. Let's see. Yep. And then the hat.
Do you tune your drums to go with everyone, or you just use it? You do? Okay.
I do, yeah. So the hat was yeah. Yeah, I think that's it. That's all. 2, 3, 4. I just kind of left that free, don't quantize that, so it kind of lags a little bit.
Yep.
And then I had this tambourine. It was just a loop, but it came in like every 16 bars. So that's the drums.
Yeah.
So once I had that locked in, it's like, okay, what am I gonna do with it? I came across this sample. So this sample was from the movie The Color Purple, the soundtrack.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Composed by the late great Quincy Jones.
That's right.
And it was this particular one this was the particular one that I used. And this already put me in an atmosphere. right here. And then right here. Yep.
That's crazy.
So when I heard that, I was like, oh. It's like, oh.
So when you listen to sounds like this, you listen to a whole record before you even indulge in?
Yeah, for the most part,
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
Yeah. And then most of the time, I don't have a set way of how I'm going to sample it until I get it in here and chop it and start kind of playing with it with the beat.
Word. I know everybody got their own chopping techniques. Do you go by parts? Do you go by snare? Some people chop on the snare. Some people chop on the kick. Some
Yeah,
people
I
chop
usually chop on the kick of the snare, but I think these was kind of just random.
Dope.
Oh, I gotta remember the key. I'm trying to remember the song now.
I already know.
That was the key.
That's crazy, bro. What the
And
fuck?
then I just need to find the last part. Oh, that's it. Yep. So, I'm basically.
First person also seen using Ableton in a Mac with a mouse. A
PC with a mouse?
Crazy.
First one ever.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's what you got there. You probably gotta duplicate the track so you don't mess up those chops.
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm
Yup.
doing. All right, so at this point,
It's already my favorite.
at this point, like I was saying earlier, once I have the sample and it's basically just looping, now it's like creating some type of progression
Right.
around that just to kind of bring some emotion. So I remember I started with this piano. See if I can. the sample is out of key too. There we go. There we go.
I'm not that tone deaf.
So at that point, had this little organ added, and this was, shout out my homie Caleb Sean, incredible musician. He came in and played this.
Things with musician from the church versus not from the church. You know, sometimes it can get a little jazzy.
Yeah.
How do you?
What I do is I have them. I have them play different versions of so I'll have one that's just go all out. One is more structured.
Yep.
One is more simplified.
Yep.
So I'll have these different versions, and I can go through and choose what I want for what sections.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then as far as sound selection with players, do you tell them the sound to play, or do you say, y'all want something?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
That's kind of part of the sound design part. It's like create a interesting sound.
Yeah.
And see what's their interpretation of that sound.
Got you. Okay.
Because usually the sound inspires them to play certain things, just the way it sounds.
That's right. Yeah.
I think that was the thing. And then just play the bass kind of following that. And I'm pretty sure that this was the bass I used for it, because this was the bass I always use.
This whole subtractor is the best bass.
I always use this in Reason. And this was like one of my favorite bass too.
That shit.
So now I gotta figure out what the bass.
Gotta sound it out.
Yeah. Patience.
That's so crazy, bro. I watch you step by step. Oh my god, it's crazy. I'm over here like.
And then the final thing was just like this little, just some little ear candy stuff that I had. Let me find a delay. Do you use all the stock?
Some of them, yeah.
Most of them,
yeah. Crazy though.
Yeah, that's some.
All these stocks are good.
It's really good. Yeah, it was just like.
Really a screw your face up jam. It's like Swiss.
Yeah. But yeah, that's pretty much it, man.
Masterpiece. Color Purple. Let's talk about that. Why Color Purple, man?
One of my favorite movies.
Okay.
One of my favorite movies. Always watched it, and I was always like inspired by the soundtrack and the score of the movie. Every time I watched it,
vocals and shit. Yeah, dope.
I used to go to Half Price Books and buy my records. And I came across it, man, and I remember, just like you say, how you take a Sunday and chop all your samples.
Yep.
I used to do the same thing. Every Friday after work, I would go to Half Price Books, buy me about 20, 25, 30 records and chop them that night. All of Saturday and Sunday would be me just making beats from those chops that I made. You know, so yeah, I would just have a folder of Rex files of already chopped samples, and I just pull them over, make something to it, finish it, pull the next one over, make something to it, and I would complete so many beats in a day because I had already pre-done the pre-work, pre-production work. And then at that point, it was just like no thinking, no overthinking.
Weapons of choice. I see you got a couple things right here. A couple of my favorites. Apollo's my favorite. Dangerous, my favorite.
Yep, love Apollo, love Dangerous.
Push, music. Not so much, but able to
I barely
change my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I barely use the push. I just use the controller.
I love the controller. I'm now messing with the MPC 61, which feels like an ASR and MPC all in one.
Oh, really?
But yeah, it's dope.
Okay.
I see the OB6 over there.
Yeah, I love the OB6.
A lot of choice. I see a lot of pedals over here. I'm like, okay, what the pedals about?
I love the pedals. Like, I'll go through phases to where I kind of hone in on. So, like, if I'm using pedals, I'm just like sound designing using pedals.
Got you. Okay.
And recording everything that I do. I'm on the Moog and running things through it, twisting knobs, and just recording. And then I'll take all of those things that I recorded and chop them up and put those in folders and then use those for certain things. So that's why I use the pedals.
That's dope.
This is probably one of my favorite pieces of gear right here. I don't know if you can see this.
Plasma?
This overstay. The plasmas are crazy too. Plasmas are real crazy. It's just a different type of distortion.
Yep.
But this overstayer, man, it's like, and I'm lazy, so I hadn't been using it much. But bro, like just for saturation, distortion, the EQs on it is dope. The compressor on it is dope. I can sidechain certain things that come in to it. It sounds incredible.
Wow, that's crazy. And I seen how you Velcro the top of the OB system. That's dope.
Like I needed somewhere to stick this in.
I've never seen that before. That's fucking using your brain. MacGyver. You know what I'm saying?
Storage space until I don't need it here.
That's facts.
Yeah,
That's
so
facts. So Murder to Excellence, which was Black Excellence, Black Murder put together.
yep.
One of my favorite joints off the album, so I had to come see you. Please tell the people where they can find you because I'm sure your phone gonna be ringing after this. And
You can find me on all socials. Symbolyc One, that's SYMBOLYCONE. Instagram, Facebook, and let's work.
Yes, sir. The legendary Don Cannon, Symbolic One, Murder to Excellence, Black Excellence, Black Murder. We here. Back.